Imagine it's Monday morning. You're getting ready for work. You grab your coffee, head out the front door, get into your car, and turn the key. Nothing. Maybe it starts but immediately begins making a terrible noise. Maybe warning lights appear across the dashboard. Maybe the transmission slips. Maybe the engine overheats. Whatever the problem is, you already know one thing. This isn't going to be cheap. Later that afternoon, the repair shop calls. The estimate is $5,400. You weren't expecting that. You don't have $5,400 sitting in your checking account. You weren't planning to spend it. You certainly weren't budgeting for it this month. Now imagine something else. The mortgage payment is due next week. The electric bill arrived yesterday. Your homeowner's insurance renewal just increased. Your property tax payment is coming up. Your child needs braces. And now your vehicle, something you depend on every single day, needs thousands of dollars in repairs. For many homeowners, that's how financial pressure begins. Not with one catastrophic event, with several expensive surprises arriving one after another. One expense by itself usually isn't enough to create a crisis. But when those expenses begin piling on top of one another, the financial picture starts changing. That's what many homeowners throughout Nevada are experiencing today. People often assume financial hardship begins because someone made poor financial decisions. They assume someone bought too much house, spent beyond their means, or simply failed to budget. Sometimes that's true, but very often it isn't. Many homeowners are incredibly responsible. They pay their bills, they save money, they work hard, they live within their means. Yet they still find themselves asking an uncomfortable question. Why does it suddenly feel like we're falling behind? The answer is often surprisingly simple. Life has become dramatically more expensive. Let's start with vehicles. A few years ago, replacing tires was expensive. Today, it's much more expensive. Oil changes cost more. Insurance costs more. Registration fees are higher. Labor rates have increased. Parts cost more. Even routine maintenance has become a meaningful expense. And if you have a car payment, that's another major monthly obligation. Many households have two vehicles. That often means two car payments, two insurance policies, two fuel bills, two maintenance schedules, two opportunities for something to break. When one vehicle needs a major repair, it doesn't replace the monthly payment. It comes in addition to everything else. That's when homeowners begin using credit cards. At first, it seems reasonable. I'll pay it off over the next few months. Then another expense appears. A washing machine fails. The refrigerator stops cooling. The water heater leaks. The HVAC system quits during the hottest week of the summer. Suddenly, that credit card balance doesn't disappear. It grows. Then, interest begins accumulating. Now, the emergency repair continues costing money every single month. Let's think about a typical family budget. Mortgage, car payment, second car payment, insurance, property taxes, utilities, internet, cell phones, groceries, fuel, medical insurance, prescription medications, streaming services, school activities, pet expenses, home maintenance, retirement savings, emergency savings. Every dollar already has a job. There isn't much extra room. So when an unexpected expense appears, something has to give. Maybe retirement contributions stop. Maybe savings stop growing. Maybe the family postpones a vacation. Maybe they delay replacing worn tires. Maybe they carry a credit card balance. Maybe they postpone needed home maintenance. These decisions don't happen because people are irresponsible. They happen because the budget has become tighter than it used to be. Let's talk about emergency savings. Financial experts often recommend maintaining 3 to 6 months of living expenses. That's excellent advice. But here's something many people don't discuss. Emergency expenses have become dramatically larger. 10 years ago, replacing an HVAC system might have cost several $1,000s. Today, it may cost twice that. Roof replacements, vehicle repairs, major appliances, electrical work, plumbing repairs. Nearly every major repair has become more expensive. That means emergency funds disappear much faster than they once did. Imagine spending years building a savings account. You finally feel comfortable, then the roof fails. A month later, the transmission fails. A few weeks after that, someone in the family needs emergency medical care. Within months, years of careful saving may disappear. That's emotionally exhausting, and unfortunately, it's becoming increasingly common. Let's talk about the emotional side of financial pressure. Most people don't talk about it, but it's real. Financial stress affects sleep. It affects relationships. It affects concentration at work. It affects physical health. Some homeowners begin avoiding their bank account because they're afraid to look at the balance. Others stop answering unknown phone numbers because they worry another bill collector may be calling. Some begin arguing with their spouse over purchases that never would have been discussed a few years earlier. Others quietly carry the stress by themselves because they don't want anyone to know they're struggling. Financial pressure doesn't only affect your wallet. It affects your entire life. One of the biggest mistakes homeowners make is believing they should wait until they're in serious trouble before asking questions. Unfortunately, waiting usually reduces options. Let's imagine two homeowners. The first notices expenses increasing. They review their finances. They understand their home equity. They evaluate their monthly budget. They ask questions. They gather information. They create a plan. The second homeowner ignores the warning signs. They continue hoping things improve. They keep using credit cards. They postpone difficult conversations. Months later, their options have become much more limited. Which homeowner is more likely to stay in control? The answer is obvious. Information creates options. Waiting usually doesn't. Now let's talk about pride. Many homeowners believe asking for help means they've failed. Nothing could be further from the truth. Successful people ask questions before problems become emergencies. Business owners do it. Investors do it. Financial planners do it. Doctors seek second opinions. Attorneys consult other attorneys. There's no shame in gathering information, especially when your home is involved. Remember, asking questions doesn't mean you've decided to sell. It doesn't mean you're facing foreclosure. It doesn't mean you're making any commitment whatsoever. It simply means you're becoming informed. And informed homeowners make better decisions. Let's also remember that financial hardship isn't always permanent. Jobs change, income changes, businesses recover, medical situations improve, expenses stabilize. The challenge is getting through the difficult period while preserving as many options as possible. That's why early planning matters. Before the emergency becomes overwhelming, before savings disappear completely, before debt becomes unmanageable, before stress begins controlling your decisions. If you're beginning to feel squeezed, don't ignore it. Pay attention to the warning signs. Review your budget. Understand your monthly obligations. Know how much equity you have. Know where your money is going. And most importantly, know your options. Because homeowners who understand their situation usually make better decisions than homeowners who simply hope things improve. Hope is important. But hope works best when it's combined with a plan. At Nevada Strategic Property Group, we are a collaborative team where we believe education creates confidence, information creates options, and planning early gives homeowners the greatest opportunity to protect both their home and their financial future. Our team covers Nevada and includes Skip Benton, Tony Taylor, and Savannah Lee, with Coldwell Banker Select Real Estate, along with Angie Salcido of Premier Credit Solutions. Our mission is to help homeowners understand their financial position before situations become urgent. So if rising vehicle costs, emergency repairs, increasing insurance premiums, or unexpected expenses have you wondering what comes next, don't wait until the pressure becomes overwhelming. Start with information. Understand your options. Create a plan. Because one unexpected expense doesn't have to determine your future. The decisions you make after that expense are what matter most.